Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Myself, I'm doing great. Let's talk about this fight. Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin 2. The weigh-in. The breakdown. Y'all know how it goes. Dillian Whyte was looking great. Very good. He came in at 247. I'm going to convert that for the British people. That's 17.6 stones. Like 17.64 stones. But yeah, 17.6 stones. So he came in light, trim. You can see abs, like definitely in shape. On the flip side of that, Povetkin was looking really soft. He was looking really pudgy, and he came in, I believe, 5 pounds heavier, 4 to 5 pounds heavier than he was before. At I forget his weight actually, guys. My bad for that. My channel seems real biased, but we're not going to edit. Before we get into this fight, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. That way you get updated when I drop the newest content like this. All right, so I want to say this first and foremost. Povetkin's build, his shape, how he was looking on the scale. I heard a guy named D. Jefferson, Speak Your Mind, Sports Talk. That's his channel. Check it out if you haven't. He was talking about he believed that COVID would have an effect on Povetkin. And you know what? I thought about that too, but I believe he's the first person I heard mentioning it. So with him mentioning it, I'll call out his name because Povetkin did look to be in a lot worse shape than he was the first time. And, maybe he hasn't been able to train properly. Maybe the COVID hit him hard. I don't know. Aesthetically speaking, you can't always tell how good people are aesthetically, but you can make small conclusions off of it. So it's not confirmed 100% that he's going to be in worse shape. His lungs aren't going to be as good, but I will say the signs of him not doing the same type training, not having the same intensity is there. It's definitely there, the signs of it. So we'll know whenever they get into the ring whether his training was affected or not by him catching COVID. Moving past that, Dillian Whyte, his biggest flaw has been, I would say, his endurance, his stamina, and he's looking like he's taking it serious. This loss to Povetkin might have sparked a fire underneath him. I know the loss to AJ definitely sparked a fire. So maybe he's one of them fighters where even if he loses, he just gets better off that loss. Like losses for him is a positive, and it only makes him better. You've got other fighters who, they take L's, they take losses, and instead of getting better, instead of pushing harder, they just make twerking videos. So, again, I think Dillian Whyte's taking this challenge serious. You can tell by the way that he looks. He looks like he's taking off body fat and possibly put on more muscle. So, again, very serious how he's taking this. How do I see this fight going? That's the main part of this. I'm going to say regardless of the shape that Povetkin is in, like I said the first time, he's very dangerous, especially early against Dillian Whyte because of stylistically how they match up. A lot of the things that Dillian Whyte is susceptible to, Povetkin excels at. Like how he hit him with the uppercut and put Dillian Whyte to sleep. We've seen Whyte hurt by the uppercut before. We saw Rivas drop him in a fight that he was dominating. We saw Anthony Joshua hit him with it and hurt him. We've seen him hurt by the uppercut before, so we know that's a shot that he does not take very well. And again, that is something that Povetkin is very proficient at, how to set that up. Povetkin's very good at hooks as well, and he can throw overhands. So the hardest shots to the chin, Povetkin is very good at. How do I see this going? What does Dillian Whyte need to do to overcome? I think he needs to work off the jab like he was early in the fight, setting up the 2 and keeping his distance. I wouldn't get into a hook battle with Povetkin because when you miss, you open yourself up to the uppercut, and you also open yourself up to the overhands when you miss with the hooks. And the overhand is actually probably going to be the hardest shot, being that Povetkin is shorter, Dillian Whyte is taller. So therefore, the leverage is going to be more powerful when he's arcing that overhand versus the uppercut, in my opinion. Now, do not get into hooking battles with this guy. You have got to keep your range, keep your distance. Dillian Whyte has extremely long arms. All the better to keep his distance. And he cannot get relaxed. He tends to take his foot off the gas. He tends to look out the windows and look at the scenery when he's driving around the ring. He does not stay focused 100% of the time. And it is very important that he stays on his P's and his Q's in this early part of the fight. Now, as the fight gets deeper and deeper and deeper, if Povetkin starts to fade, then you can be more afforded errors. But at the beginning, you cannot afford to make an error. You cannot afford to make a mistake, especially when you know this guy can knock you out with a single shot, because that's what he did. So if Dillian Whyte can keep him at bay, jab, back up, hit him hard with straights, I would avoid going to the body early. Why is that? Because when you go down low, it opens you up top to hooks, to counter shots. And again, as Dillian Whyte, his main focus needs to be keeping Povetkin away from him early. As you start to see Povetkin fade, then go to the body. So I would say if he's going to do that body work, start around the 7th round if it goes that long. Then start hitting him to the body with single shots here or there. 8th round, stack them up a little more. 9th round, now you can really start to work it and really take them lungs away from him. You need to keep constant pressure on Povetkin early. That way he does get tired. Don't give this man time to breathe. You need to stay on him. You need to test them COVID lungs. You need to test them 41-year-old lungs. You need to really try to drain him of his energy, because when you lose your energy, you lose your reaction time, your speed, and most importantly, your power. That's what he needs to take away from Povetkin. For Povetkin to win, he's got to get on the inside. He needs to bait the... like I said, we don't edit. He needs to bait Dillian Whyte into a phone booth fight. He needs to bait Dillian Whyte to come in, make him mad, make him want to trade, and then set him up. That's all he's got to do. All the pedigree, all the experience is on Povetkin's side. Set up the traps like you know how to set up, and really work them. You need to be more conscious of the traps. Set them up for the overhand. Set them up for the hooks. Set them up for the uppercut. Stay with your lateral movement, side to side. Make them miss, because Dillian Whyte also has had an issue with the gas tank. So the more you make him miss, that takes more out of a fighter. So he'll get tired off missing shots. So really work on the lateral movement. Try not to block. Try not to parry as much. And just side to side and make him miss. Take little steps so you waste little energy and you make him waste a lot. If you can, stay to him like glue. Stay very close, because the more you press him, the more muscle memory is going to take over. The more his instincts are going to want to take over to actually just start slinging his hands with you. That's what you want. You want to pressure him into trading with you so it leaves him open, because he does not have the best guard when he's exchanging shots. Dillian Whyte has a decent ability to block, get out of the way of shots when he has distance. He's good at mid-range, but when it comes up close and he's actually letting his hands go, he tends not to recoil as well as you should. In other words, when he lets off a shot, there's a delay. There's definitely a delay from when he lets it off and he returns when he's throwing consecutive punches. So you want to try to get him into trading. You want to try to get him into throwing combos, because that's where he's going to make mistakes, and that's where he tends to get lazy. So that's and you want to try to end this early if you're Povetkin, because you don't know how long you're going to last. You don't know how much of effect COVID had on your lungs, and you're older. And again, we don't know how well he was doing in the training camp, because he looked pudgy on the scale, whereas when he fought Whyte the first time, he looked a lot better. But again, I'm not going to bank it all on aesthetics, because that's not always the end-all, be-all. Some guys could come in looking worse and they actually do better. Some guys could come in looking better and actually do worse. So I'm not going to chalk it up to all that. I'm going to just say the indications of him not looking like he's going to last as long are there. How do I see the fight going? I mean, I've got to say that this fight, like the first one, I think if Dillian Whyte fights smart, he could beat him. I think he should beat him. I think he should have beat him the first time. You got to keep him at the end of your punches, and you got to stay away from him. Utilize that long reach. For Povetkin, you got to get close. Do I think he can do it? Yes, I think Povetkin can get close, but I edged this like I did the first time to Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte can knock him out. Either way it goes, somebody's getting knocked out. There's no way this is going all 12 rounds. Judging off the first fight to where Dillian Whyte knocked him down twice with hard, solid shots, and then how Povetkin knocked out Dillian Whyte, there's no way it goes to points. One of these dudes is going to sleep. It's either going to be Dillian Whyte again or it's going to be Povetkin. I think Povetkin's going to lose this one, but like I said the first time, this is a very, 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 very dangerous fight. If Dillian Whyte makes one mistake, because he doesn't have the amateur background, because he doesn't have the professional background of Povetkin, Povetkin is going to be seasoned enough to exploit it and possibly knock him out again. Stylistically, everything Dillian Whyte does wrong, Povetkin exploits very well. So Povetkin's strengths are Dillian Whyte's weaknesses, and Dillian Whyte's strengths are not Povetkin's weakness. This is a stylistic nightmare for Dillian Whyte. This is the worst fight in the heavyweight division stylistically for him. So, to recap what I'm saying without using both sides, I have Dillian Whyte winning by knockout. Look for it to be I'll say 8th or 9th round knockout by Dillian Whyte. But I would not bet on it because, again, anything can happen in this fight. At any moment, Povetkin could end the fight. So, although I edge Dillian Whyte to win, and I believe he will win, and I believe he can knock out Povetkin out in the 8th or 9th round, if you're not a betting person, this is not a fight to truly put your money on. If you want to put a little money on it, put little money on it, but don't put a lot of money on this fight because it could go either way. This is like I want to say this is like a 55-45% chance for Dillian Whyte. Like, it really is. It's very close. It's very close. I edge Dillian Whyte slightly, just like I did the first time, but people know I like Dillian Whyte as a fighter, but just like the first time I talked about it, I'm telling y'all, he can get knocked out. He can. And more than likely, if he does get knocked out this time, it's going to be from an overhand. That is going to be the beginning of the end for him. He is going to be conscious about getting them hands down underneath the chin, and Povetkin could bait him in to blocking for an uppercut and then catch him over the top with the arcing overhand and really be the beginning of the end for him. So I think this time around, if Povetkin does it, it's going to be an overhand that will stop Dillian Whyte, or at least be the beginning punch to stop him. If he does it, look for the overhand to be the most significant punch that Povetkin's going to throw against Dillian Whyte after he feints the uppercut coming in close. I don't want to keep getting repetitive, going back to back. It's just this. I cannot stress enough to you guys. This is a very close fight. This is a very dangerous fight. Just like the first time when I said that, if he was going to lose, he was going to lose to the uppercut. Well, this time I'm saying if Dillian Whyte's going to lose, he's going to lose to the overhand, because I think that's the perfect punch to hit him with right now. So let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, especially people subscribe to me. Hit the thumbs up. It only takes 1 to 2 seconds, especially while my channel right now is shadow banned due to a copyright strike on my channel that I'm fighting. So let me know what y'all think. Thank y'all again for watching. Oh, yeah. And let me just say it one more time. I got Dillian Whyte by 8th to 9th round stoppage on Povetkin.